Good evening, friends. Today I am going to speak about a wonderful topic about blindness. Blindness is common to all the people after 40 years or after 50 years. All the people lose their eyesight, they will become a blind man. After that, they must rely with other people for their needs, for their and activities. Here I'm going to speak about one of the wonderful the person of this world. In his blindness, he worked well. He achieved greatest things about that person's. You know very well about that the person, those who study in the English department of any arts college, or that school student also familiar with this poem on his blindness. On his blindness, the blind man you can see uh, in that Chennai railway compartment. They used to sell the pencil instead of taking arm and the begging to that other people. They lead the respectable life, a respectable life. Some of the blind men and also become a professor and achieved a lot of things. Even a principal of the college also is there in the government colleges. The principal is and that is not that real lameness to that people. Physical problemness is not that real lameness of and the problems to that human beings. That is essential for that. From that, the lamb person in the Paralympic, he is the first person brought gold medal to India, and Mariappan Thangavelu, like that, and Helen Keller also they bring great honor to that the physically challenged people. Like that, John Milton also, many people. John Milton, one of these the famous classical writer, and he is the most and highly studied man in England in those days. Completed his MA degree, and MA degree during that 16th century, last part of the 16th century and initial part of the 17th century. MA education, college education is a great question mark to us. After his MA, and he born in this world, in this world 1608, and died in the year of 1674. 1704. He was a well versed person in the Greek, Latin, and Hebrew. The Hebrew language is that language of the Jesus Christ used. That language, you know very well, he is good at, and also the number of other European languages also. He is a language and scholar, the most and highly studied and educated man in England in those days. He was only received the MA degree in those days. And his sonnet in the small poem, when he lost his eyesight by his age of 45, he has written this poem and sonnet, which is consists that 14 line. You know, the sonnet consists of 14 line. That is the Italian sonnet or Petacan sonnet. Italian or Petacan sonnet consists of 14 line. It is divided into that and octave and sestet. The first 8 line developed that the problem of that person or a thing. The another 6 lines bring the solution and remedy to the problem which is mentioned by the writer. You know very well regarding for this, and This is also otherwise known as that it is an autobiographical poem because he expressed his the own feeling, the own idea about his experience shared with this society is important. After his MA degree, he settled in his hometown, native place in that Horton, and he decided to and give his scholarly pursuit of that nature. But in the year of 16, before 1660, he was a familiar person, because ardent supporter of that Commonwealth government and Oliver Cromwell, and he lived for this development of this Commonwealth government in England. In England, he had written and the work to establishment of the and Commonwealth government from that anarchy government, monarchism, and the Queen, and kept period by his writing regarding for this. After arrival of this Charles II and the Restoration period, and he was appointed as this Latin secretary, the court poet during the period of and Commonwealth period and Protestant Puritan period. And after arrival of the Charles II in the year of 1660, and he used to get lot of problem. He was his two books was burnt publicly, and his friend saved his life, but he cannot save his property and wealth and house or anything for this. But exactly his impairness and blindness that started at this age of 43. He lost completely his eyesight by his age of and 45. I'm also get that same and a problem, and the partial blindness start by the age of and 43 and 44, and immediately I used to eat some green leaf and green greens like ponangani or so many things to increase that power. That is represent that shortage of A vitamin in our body is essential, my dear friend. And by his age of 45, and he started to write and another to work by musing. In his blindness, he used to muse the words at his eldest daughter. His daughter written all the words, even each and every word. Even he instructed the spelling of the word and the sentence structure. What is that next sentence? Like that, as a blind man, he has written instantly after publication of the Paradise Lost. It would be accepted as an epic in this 12 book, a great volume, which was written by John Milton. Then Paradise Regained and Psalms and Agnestus. The another important work were burned publicly by this and King Charles II, and great question mark. But now I am going to see what kind of experience and he feel a concern over about his the way of life, because we are living to please the God, to praise the God, not and human beings, but we are working for the human beings for the sake of daily bread is and more important, more essential to all the people from here. Now I am going to read that poems which was written by John Milton, and this expresses his the one experience. How did he and spend the life? I am also in that the same age and 50 12 years. I crossed and I'm going to start regarding. I managed to increase that eyesight by doing eye exercise in that yoga, many more things to increase the power, and using that reading class and cooling class and the specs, many things to lead the life. I manage that the eyesight improvement. With that, I am leading life in this world. I am going to see that is the emphatic line on his blindness. It is a Petrarchan sonnet. Shakespearean sonnet, the four tetralines, three tetralines, and the last couplet end with and Shakespeare deals about the problem in 12 lines, and he gives solution in last two lines. That is, was a genius. The field of writing poetry as well as the play, and he has given a problem in that and 8 lines. The next 6 lines deals about the solutions to problems, which is no now he think over about his life. When I consider how my light is spent, when I considered how my light is spent before half my days in this dark world and wide, in this dark world, that means which is that he mentioned that rendering service to the Oliver Cromwell is that service to that dark world, because he rendered service to that humankind. He forgot his and maker, and that one talent which is death to guide. Only one art of writing poetry is the was the talent which was given to him. Talent God has given, lodged with him useless, though my soul more bent to serve there with the master. When he aimed to give up the service to the human beings, he started to give service to that and service to the uh, God, the creator and maker, and at that exact day to serve there with my makers and present my true account. The everybody has that true account. The purpose of that birth, the purpose of birth is important to know and fulfill that, unless we cannot escape from here. Like that, the woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promised to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. Before our death, we have to fulfill our the responsibility, duty which is assigned by the God to us. That is essential in that place. To the one talent lodged with me, and useless, which is death to hide, lodged with me useless, though my soul and more bent to serve there with my maker. My maker is that your maker, my maker, your maker. All is the God is the maker. God is the this beautiful the color, the beautiful psyche, mind, talent, skills to all the people given by that maker under God only, and present my true account when I start to work for that purpose of life, and to with my maker present true account. The last least he returning child, he afraid for that. He think over that by biblical parables. The God has given 10 talent to one servant, and 5 talent to one servant, 1 talent to another person, and he had gone far off countries. After a long time, they return back and demand the question and ask that accountability with the man. First, he called the $10 and received person. $10 person said that I used your money and earn 10 more dollars, and also I used to eat with that, dwell with that cloth, meet all my needs. And here it is, you are $10 with another $10, $20. Okay, oh, you are a very good, nice and good servant. Good servant, you will have that 10 more and state. and I will make you as a ruler of 10 more state. Then again he called that the $5 and received person. He also said that with your $5 I had run that business. I did merchandise. Through that I meet my needs, and also here it is that $5 and another $5, $10. You are also the faithful and loyal servant. I will make you ruler of that the five state, like that. Then he called that $1 who God has given $1 to one person. He had come, Lord, I know you are that person, and harvest without show. Without sow the seed in the field, you can collect the grapes from the and thorns, and that is why I don't like to lose your money. I afraid for you. That's why here it is your $1 I have buried in the ground and returned. So immediately you are unfaithful servant. Suppose if you deposited this amount to the bankers, I can get it back with that interest. You have spoiled. And he called that $10 received person and also handed that $1 and also given to who already have that $10. Like that, the many things he's happy. He think about that. He sincere follower of the God, and also and read Bible, and afraid for like that a person who received $1 and he did not use that, like that. The art of writing poetry was given to John Milton by the God, but he did not write poetry about the God. He did not write poetry about the goddesses, but he write poetry for that Oliver Cromwell, poetry for that work for that establishment of Commonwealth government. That's why he afraid for that. If the God scold me, in order to save his God exact day, and he wanted to escape. He don't want to get the scolding or curse or punishment from the God. He often started to afraid. I am a highly educated person in England. I have the talent to write poetry. I have wasted my time off of the time in this dark wild world for that human cause. Hereafter, I don't want to waste. I want to please the God. Please the God. So I want to do my real accountability, the real promise, the purpose of my birth. I wanted to write poetry. I wanted to leave something permanent thing like Thiruvalluvar. You did not see the Thiruvalluvar. I did not see the Thiruvalluvar. But we know that all the people, all the world people know about Thirukural. But know about the Bible, know about the Quran, know about the Bhagavad Gita, and many more things happening in this world. Yes. And after our Shahjahan leave that Taj Mahal, and Rajaraja Chola leave that temple, and Chera Chola Pandya is many temples, and Karigalans leave that dam to feed the people, the empty, and the people used to go and had gone to the bed with empty stomach. Nowadays, 3 times without any problem. The people we are eating means that is that arm of that and Karigalan. That is the arm of that Penniku. That is the arm which was given by Kamarajar, constructed 6 dams because we are getting 3 times food without any problem. The store is full because of their effort from here. When my true account, the least returning child, I don't want to get any punishment from the God, scolding from the God. So he wants to render service, please the God. Before his death, he wants to get the salvation from the God. That is why turning to doth God exact day, doth and the hath God has a God exact day labor. When I started to work hard for that God purpose and the purpose of murder, light is denied. Light. The light is denied. It stands for that the eyesight, or that eyesight, or that knowledge, or that life. The light is denied. He became that blind man, but he had that lot of knowledge and information. Thoroughly keep that biblical. The first book, Genesis, in his mind. Genesis, Adi Ahamam. and Yatraham, all the Old Testament, New Testament, which is in that subconscious mind. We can work with that. Suppose if I lost complete eyesight, I will become that blind man, but I can take the classes to the student because everything is in the subconscious mind. I have sufficient knowledge to continue this process without see anything from the mind. I know very well God exact day light day labor light denied. So I fondly ask, I foolishly ask, oh God, please uh, give me light, give my eyesight, because I am working for your sake. I am going to like that. I foolishly ask, foolish. Why he used to before good eyesight? That time he wasted his time and used his knowledge and everything in the dark world for the sake of Oliver Cromwell and establishment of that commonwealth government. That government is not accepted by the people and thrown out by the people, and then they impressed that liberal government, the king and monarch and liberal government, they don't want any strict discipline and many more things from there. God exacted labor, day labor light denied. I fondly ask when we lost, when during the day times we spent time with playing cricket, we spent time with make the prank with our friend, wasting and everything for that. But in the midnight we wanted to read, midnight we want to write. That time we cannot get anything ourselves. That is important. From when the day is there, we have to do our work. That is essential, my dear friend, on this true account. And I fondly ask, but the patience to prevent. If ask anything to the God, and we must patiently wait sometimes. That is essential. Wait sometime. Immediately we cannot get anything from patience and to prevent. This is that the problem. Last he asked the God that murmur soon replies that God doth not need either man's work or his own gift. In that manner, soul reply, and after thinking about this, asking his eyesight to the God once again, I say foolishly, and it gives the answer. God, God does not expect anything from the human beings because God has created this whole world, whole universe, 7 days and night. All the earth, sky, and other pandemonium, whatever it may be, and solar system, firmament, and earth, and species, and birds, everything. He created in the 7 days and a night, 7 days and a night. That's why he was a great taskmaster. We need not go and do any work to the God like constructing the building and temple for the God and make that any statue for the God. If we cannot do any work, immediately, instantly, a fraction of second, he can do anything in this world. Such a because God is omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscience, yes, and replace and either man's work or his own gift. If we give that God to the money, who has given? God will give you, because God is not a very poor person. God has given some things to your welfare and your life, but we are giving things because God is not a beggar. Because whatever, if you give the gold means, who has given gold? God has given gold to us. If you give money, God has given to that. If you got give anything, say God has given. If you give land, everything is God has given to us. Everything is belongs to the owner of this world is and God only, because God is omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient. Don't underestimate God is and asking you to do anything. God will not ask. The people also the wants to get their daily bread, meet their daily wages. Because of that, God does not need either man's work or his own gift. Whatever you possess, if I possess that, that means it is gift of God. If I open it and give to the God, that is not good. God will please us. If you break the coconut means, so who has given coconut? God has given coconut. If you break one coconut means, God has given a lot of coconut. God has given all the flowers for your sightseeing, for your life. If you irritate the same thing means, how that God will please you, God will bless you, God will come and give salvations to you. That is essential from this. God doth not need either man's work or his own gift. Who best bear his mild yoke? Mild yoke means the yoke is that the pole which is placed that on the neck of the bullocks or that and bull oxen which track the bullock cart as well as that plow. Like that, if any problem is happening, whether it is blindness or headache or fever or cancer, whatever it may be, we have to bear, because of our sin, God has given that punishment. Without chiding, without scolding, we have to bear all the things for this. They serve the best. His state is kingly. Kingly. God is not a poor man. God will not ask anything from you. God don't want to get any ghee rice or pongal or vadai or whatever it may be. Because if God have the habit of eating that pongal, eating the vadai, eating that anything means you will not keep all the things and fruits, many more things. You know very well that the ritual performance and the pujari know very well, and the saint is know very well, and that statue will not eat anything, will not touch anything, because that is why they are courageously keep in front of that. Later they will eat regarding the same thing with that, because God is not a poor, he is a king of this, not only this world, not only India, not only America, not only Russia, Britain, all the 165 countries of this world, but he is that king of this whole world, like earth and sky and that and hell, whatever, all these three world, he is that king and authority. So don't, need not give any work, need not give any gift, need not to do anything for this. Don't worry about that. He showed mercy. It is our duty to and try to understand our birth, try to do that work is very important. Thousands of his speed, bidding speed and post over the land and ocean without rest. He had millions, billions of that. Angels can do the, if he command with the fraction of second, India will become that blind ground to play the football or anything like this. Glacier will happen. If he command the people and his own servant and angels and fairies, with the fraction of second he can destroy that world, like Noah period. How God has given that rain for 40 days and night, and the water is lodging 80 feet above the tallest mountain of this world. Like the only one family was saved, because that is honest and virtuous and obedient family to that God. That is like that. God is kingly. Thousands of his fighting speed and pushed over the land and oceans to without rest, and they also serve who only the stand and wait. Stand and wait. Serve means the person who used to give money, the person who is giving land to the God. That is not a service. If you ask anything, we have to stand and wait for that, the sake of the God. They are the best servant to this world, to the God, and a lovable person. We should not chide, we should not scold at the God is essential in this world. That is very important. Since and 1640 is and very active for that, the Commonwealth government, in spite of failing eyesight, and he kept on writing pamphlets to produce the Puritan cause, to development of the Puritan cause. And also after that he stopped his Puritan cause. He didn't care about the Commonwealth, he didn't care about the Puritan, he didn't care about the human work and human leaders. He only concentrate about that maker and God creator and of this world and his life. That is why he had written the Paradise Lost. paradise regained, Samson Agnistus. Through that he attained that immortal life, and also and he is, parted in this world with full of happiness, and with his three married three times and lived with that the three times married, and because of misunderstanding he did not get any happiness in his life, but finally his work paradise lost. The 10 book he had written, but the 10 book converted into the 12 books, but there is only one English epic is there, that is Paradise Lost, that was also written by a blind man by musing, and because when he was small boy, that time he got all the religious knowledge in his mind. That's why he developed by his imagination, by a scholarly pursuit he is implemented to write that masterpiece and Paradise Lost. Through that he attained the attain the ஒரு permanent life, immortal life, and all the ages to come the people will study about this poem on his blindness and paradise lost, paradise regained, and and his contribution of that, and thousands of vocabulary to English language. Even Shakespeare had and also thousands of vocabulary to English language, and many scholarly people, and the Bible is also had given a lot of and things from that. Once again, I would like to read that poem on his blindness, written by John Milton. He born in this world during the period of 1608 and died in that 1674. When I consider how my life is spent before half of my days in this dark world and white, and that one talent which is death to hide, lodged with me useless, though my soul's more bent to serve there with my Maker, and present my true account. At least a returning child, doth God exalt today, labor, light denied, I fondly ask, but patience to prevent. That murmur soon replies, God doth not need either man's work or his own gifts. Who best bear his mild yoke, they serve him best. His state is kingly, thousands of his bidding speed, post over that land and ocean without rest. They also serve who only and stand and wait for that God. Who is standing for the God? Who is waiting for that God? That is, they also serve the God. Not only the person who entered into the sanctum and putting the garland, putting that nariyal coconut tender water, putting the oil, and also the curd and milk, and all the fruits and everything pouring, daily doing the puja. That is also not service. Just before the God, we have to stand and wait. And they also serve who only stand and wait for arrival of this God. Who is the kingdom of God is at hand. People used to say the kingdom of God at hand. Like that, people used to say. And we have to wait for that God. We should not wait for the Satan or human beings or anything for this. If we wait for him, and this is that real service to the God, expecting the visualization of that God face is important. Like that, Lord Jesus Christ, like that, Muhammad Prophet, like that, Adi Sankaran, and many more people, and wait for that God. Wait for that God among all other people. And the one person said, I am the son of the God. But I said, I am the son of the God. Can you kill me? But I cannot say such a great word because I am not worthful person, my dear friend. But I am not the son. I am a man only. But I wanted to being as that and very good, nice persons to before the God. That is very important. And so far we have wasted our life like a Milton. before our eyesight. We have to fulfill our purpose of life. Purpose of birth is important. Just like Gandhiji had come to this world to get independence to us. Dr. Ambedkar had come to give constitution of India to this world. Einstein had come many 1500 invention to this world, and Kamarajar had come and to this world to construct 6 dams in Tamil Nadu. In Tamil Nadu is, and M.G. Ramachandran established that Palwadi, and Amma had that like that. There's so many. Kalaignar had come to put and many things regarding for the, being as a chief minister of this world. Everybody has that responsibility to our birth. We have to identify and grasp our and realize and understand our purpose of life that should be completed by us is importance to get the God blessing, God mercy, and also get salvation to enter into the heaven. That is important. We should not waste our time for rendering service to the human beings. We have to render service to the God is more important than giving service to the mankind, because we are getting the oxygen free of cost, and we are getting rain free of cost from the sky only. We are getting food, nature is giving free, but human beings charge for that. So think about your maker rather than our the man or human beings and fellow human beings. If you think about eternal things, eternal beings, you will become the eternal person. If you think about mortal, you will become the mortal. If you think about that, because of that, nothing can destroy the iron but its own rest. Nobody can destroy a person by his by its own thought can do. Like that, our thoughts can make our life. So his thought turned to the God. That's why he become that very important, eminent writer in this world. And greatest writer, John Milton, his work and prescribed by that all the world university people, all the school system or anything, and prescribed to us to open our inner eyes is very important. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you will like, subscribe and share this video. Thank you so much, friend, for watching this. Thank you.